Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Alaska Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. And now I'll go ahead and turn it over to our presenters. This is our schedule, and we are here today in C1, so I'm going to turn it over to the University of Portland.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy to be here with you all. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we will get started. So my name is Cassie Esparza. I use she, her, aya pronouns. I am an assistant director here in the Office of Admissions at the University of Portland. I don't typically work with students in Alaska. I have in the past, but super happy to be here with you all. I'm covering for a colleague, and I will share his information at the end of this presentation. So happy to be here with you all. As we start all of our events at University of Portland, whether we are virtual or in person, we do start with a land acknowledgement. So I will invite you to follow along with me on the next slide. We acknowledge the land on which we sit and occupy at the University of Portland. The Portland metro area rests on traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Clackamas, Cathlamet, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Molalla, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River, creating communities and summer encampments to harvest and use the plentiful natural resources of the area. We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land. So as we introduce folks to our community and to who we are as a campus, we believe it's very important to acknowledge where we are and how we came to be, and that this history is very important. So I thank you for allowing me this time and space to do this with you today. I do have a presentation with you all today. This is mainly going to be for you all to refer to as I'm going through my UP information. So I want you to have this information to refer to as I'm speaking, and I will do my best to get through everything I have to get through in our 6 minutes together. So the University of Portland is a small private Catholic liberal arts teaching university located in Portland, Oregon. As we talk about location, I know our name may give the idea that we're in the middle of Portland, in the downtown area, when in fact we're about 15 minutes north of the downtown area. So we are actually in a residential neighborhood. We are surrounded by the Willamette River on 3 sides of our campus and run right up to a next residential area right next to us. So campus sits on about 150 acres, and we have plenty of space to spread out. We have enough room for our students and where we are, but also giving a really nice balance between having an awesome city like Portland to access while still having a really traditional college campus experience. Our size is currently landing at about 4,200 students, with 3,800 of those students being our undergraduate students. So students like you all who are looking to see where you are going to spend your next 4 years post high school, where you're going to get your undergraduate degrees. And as you may have researched with other small schools, we are able to provide small class sizes, low student to faculty ratios, but our size really allows us to create an opportunity for students to connect with their professors and do things like be a part of research with their professors, or take advantage of those networking opportunities to get internships or jobs, put experiences on an application or a resume as you think about grad school after your 4 years at University of Portland. But our size is really sitting at a nice place where it's small enough for you to create a community, to make friends quickly, while big enough to meet someone new every day, and really finding a nice balance. And one thing that I will say with our size and our distinction of being a teaching university is that you will always have professors in the classroom and never TAs or graduate students. So that's something that you will always have access to from their first day on campus as a first-year student to your last day as a senior. I did mention that we are a Catholic institution. We are a Holy Cross school, which means that we believe in a holistic approach to education for our students and providing a well-rounded experience. Our 3 pillars or values you will see are teaching and learning, faith and formation, and service and leadership. And while we are a Catholic institution, and that is a big part of our identity, we do highlight the fact that about 45% of our students tell us that they are Catholic, with the majority coming from different faith backgrounds or a no faith background at all. So the way that a student experiences this on campus is going to be totally up to them. It's totally up to you how you want to experience this and dive in or not dive in if you choose to. As far as requirements, because I do get questions about requirements often, you will be required to take two theology classes during your time at University of Portland, but all the other opportunities, which are abundant, will be totally up to you and how you want to experience that as a student. And as an institution, we do expect, and we need to provide an environment that is open and welcoming to students of all backgrounds, regardless of no faith, different faith, or the same faith as well. We do have 5 different schools in where our majors are housed. So we have the College of Arts and Sciences, and then 4 professional schools with the School of Business, the School of Education, the School of Engineering, and the School of Nursing. These 4 professional schools do function on a direct entry format, and all of these programs are designed to be completed in 4 years. We do have a holistic approach to learning and education, as I mentioned, with our Holy Cross background, but also as our intention of being a comprehensive liberal arts institution. And our students will all get an experience of the liberal arts through the core curriculum that we have, which is comprised of 13 different courses. Again, it includes those couple theology classes that you will take, but then everything else is, things like English or fine arts or political science, social sciences, things like that. Here you can see a couple of little statistics about our campus life. One of my favorites is sharing that most of our students are not from the state of Oregon. In fact, only about a quarter of our students are from Oregon. So immediately you have a common ground with students when you come to University of Portland, and you have this experience of living in the dorms. We require first-year students to live in the dorms, and that is often a great way for students to find their community, as well as joining clubs, being a part of our great school spirit with our 16 Division I sporting teams, and participating in the community outside of University of Portland, whether that's service or other opportunities. I do want to share some information with you about the application process with University of Portland. Apply by November 15th. Here you can see our application materials that we require. November 15th is our recommended deadline, so I will encourage you to do that as we are a rolling admissions school, and I'm happy to answer questions about what that means in the Q&A. And as I mentioned, I am covering for a colleague. His name is Jose Cáceres. He is the person that reads all of our applications coming from Alaska, and this is his contact information if you would like to reach out, get in contact with him, talk about University of Portland, or check in on your application status. Thank you for having me today.
Great, thank you. And next we'll hear from Gonzaga University.
Perfect, thank you. My name is Matt Lyons. I'm an admission counselor at Gonzaga. I too do not work with students from Alaska and am filling in with for a colleague, but happy to be with you today and answer any questions that you can put in the Q&A. Just a quick overview of Gonzaga. We are in Spokane, Washington. We are a Jesuit Catholic university, ranked in the top 20% nationally with US News. At Gonzaga, we embody the Jesuit philosophy through our core curriculum. So a few philosophy courses, couple religions, speech and communication, scientific inquiry, math-based course. So no matter what, we want our students to have this holistic approach to education where they become strong critical thinkers, effective communicators, and strive to be lifelong learners. So our goal for you is to leave Gonzaga as a more well-rounded person that always seeks more. So you can see here, this is the city of Spokane. We're located right here, about a 15-minute walk from downtown. We do have an airport in Spokane that you can fly to, and it is about a 15-minute drive from campus. So very accessible for our students once they are in the city of Spokane. Then once you're down here, like I said, 15-minute walk to downtown. The city's about 200,000 people. We get all 4 seasons for weather, so you're going to experience very much a similar climate, maybe not as cold, but you're going to have outdoor opportunities. The 2 largest state parks in Washington are within about 45 minutes. And then we have 5 ski areas within 90 miles for that outdoor recreation as well. So our relationship with Spokane, we are the largest school in the city of Spokane. And so finding internships, career-based opportunities, research is very accessible for our students in navigating our alumni network in the city that has a ton of pride for us. We are ranked in the top 5% nationally for our commitment to undergraduate teaching. And so that means on our campus, every faculty member is required to have office hours and be available for you. All classes will be taught by adjunct or full-time faculty. Undergrads are the ones doing research on campus. Business students can work with local entrepreneurs. Engineers get to do senior design projects where they're essentially project managers. And then we also have no graduate students in our science programs. So you're free to explore that research, and nurses get 2 years of clinical experience. 83% of students come from over 200 miles away, so we are really proud of that 94% retention rate that brings students coming back for that second year feeling like they can succeed. 94% of our graduates in 2019 found employment, graduate school, or service opportunities within 6 months after graduation. We're about 5,300 students. 24 different faiths are represented within our student body. We have students from nearly all 50 states and 40 different countries. Your average class size is 22. That's going to remain pretty consistent throughout your time at Gonzaga. We offer programs in the College of Arts and Sciences, School of Business Administration, School of Ed, School of Engineering, and School of Nursing and Human Physiology. If you are interested in either civil, computer, electrical, or mechanical engineering, or nursing, those are direct entry programs and you will want to apply as a first-year student into those programs. Our finance programs rank top 30 nationwide, engineering's ranked top 25, and our nurses have had a 100% NCLEX exam pass rate for the past 3 cycles. In terms of support on campus, one thing I like to point out to our out-of-state students is 83% of students are coming from over 200 miles away, and Spokane is very much a Gonzaga city. So you are finding students that are taking the time to invest in Gonzaga's community and finding opportunities through service, which we did over 150,000 hours of. 15 retreats that we offer each year. Division I basketball games. All Division I sporting events are free for students to attend. Our Unity Multicultural Education Center and Lincoln LGBTQ+ Resource Center, which is one of the first on a Jesuit campus in the US, offers students educational-based programming. They'll bring guest speakers and student involvement-based program for that development and familiarity with cultures different than our own. Center for Student Academic Success provides tutoring in over 20 different subjects. An academic advisor, our 4-year graduation rate's 80%. The national average ranges from about 40 to 45%. And then any assistance you may need with learning differences, they're here for you as well. Over 130 different clubs, various student leadership positions. We have student body government. I was an RA in the residence halls. We also have Man's Best Friend Club if you like dogs, GU Outdoors, like I mentioned, with those opportunities with skiing, rafting, hiking. Outdoor opportunities are aplenty for our students in the city of Spokane. If you are considering applying to Gonzaga, we are on the Common App exclusively. Our application deadline is regular decision December 1st. If you plan on filing a FAFSA, you could be eligible for additional need-based aid. We are test optional for all 2021 applicants. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in nursing or engineering, those are direct entry programs. 99% of students on our campus earn scholarships or grants. You do not need a test score to be eligible for merit scholarships. Next year, these are actually going to range from $13,000 to $24,000 per year for 4 years. And you can see there that our average financial aid package exceeds our merit scholarships amount. So we're really working with students beyond just the merit piece to help them afford Gonzaga. We have additional scholarships you can check out at www.gonzaga.edu/scholarships, as well as more info there. But again, no application deadline December 1st. We have 1 supplement for general applicants and then 2 supplements for nurses. And then the FAFSA deadline is not necessarily a hard deadline, but it makes the communication process easier. Lastly, Spirit's a big thing for us. Students invest in their time at Gonzaga and developing that community. We have a great time. And so if you have any questions, you can contact me. But also Kenji Lenane Bowie is the counselor for Alaska. You can just go to gonzaga.edu/mycounselor and we'll be able to help you with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next up, we'll hear from Willamette University.
Hi everyone, my name is Leah Boynton and I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at Willamette. I'm excited that you're here today and I wanted to thank you for taking the time to choose to be in our presentation since I know you had a lot of opportunities to choose from many different presentations today. To start, Willamette is the oldest institution in the West, so we were here long before Oregon, Washington, and California were even states, meaning that the city of Salem, the state capital, has grown up around Willamette University, and there's a lot of history here as well as opportunities for our students. Really, the thing I want to give you today is the feeling of campus, to give you the opportunity to consider if you'd like to join in on our other virtual opportunities on our campus in the future. To start, I wanted to start with our school motto. Our school motto here means unto ourselves alone are we born, meaning that our community is entirely our focus, and it's really important to us to see ourselves as a larger part of a community and see how that we give ourselves back to something bigger than ourselves. It also means that there's a lot of support for our students and you're never alone. You're never a number and you're never considered kind of a face in a crowd. You're given this chance to make connections and grow. We are located in the state capitol, as I mentioned. As you see in this picture, it's right across the street from campus, 76 feet actually. And so there's a lot of opportunity for our students to hold internships at the Capitol, with 80% of our students, 80% of the interns at the Capitol being Willamette students. So a lot of our students in many different majors take advantage of this professional opportunity. We're also located 15 minutes from downtown Salem, so it's really easy to walk down the street in only 15 minutes and kind of experience some of the restaurants and other factors of downtown, such as working part-time or having an internship there as well. And Salem Health Hospital is also on the other side of campus, giving students who might be interested in health fields an opportunity to intern there. Our academics are focused on an interdisciplinary approach, meaning that students are asked to make connections across disciplines and see things from multiple perspectives. With this, you're given kind of a broader education and are allowed to grow as a whole person, giving you the opportunity to both specialize in a major while exploring and taking classes in multiple different disciplines. With small class sizes, on average being 17, 18 students, you're able to develop strong relationships with faculty and work on research projects with them, as well as explore different areas that you've never experienced, working with students from multiple different majors as well. Inside and outside of the classroom opportunities are very abundant here. So students have the opportunity to participate in either an internship, study abroad, or undergraduate research, or all three. And so students have this chance to learn outside of the classroom, as well as apply what they're learning to another experience, maybe even in your hometown if you wanted to intern over the summer. This here is a picture of a student participating in research at Xena, which is a learning and recreation space nearby our campus. And this is a great opportunity for environmental science and biology students to do research, but also students from all different disciplines enjoy this outdoor space in the Pacific Northwest. Faculty are incredibly distinguished in their field, but are also very focused on teaching. With 11 of our faculty winning Oregon Professor of the Year, we have a lot of different faculty who are distinguished and are doing research, but also really prioritize teaching. They host a lot of office hours for our students and have a lot of one-on-one opportunity to be connected with them and talk about your experiences, as well as questions you have and hopes for your future. We are a residential campus, meaning that first years and sophomores are required to live on campus, while juniors and seniors have the option to live off. We find that a lot of students choose to stay on campus, even as a junior or senior, as the living options get even more apartment style the older you get on campus. There's a lot of campus activities as well, over 100 clubs and organizations, and 20 NCAA varsity sports, Division III. Our outdoor program is something that's very special here, allowing students to travel off campus to enjoy the Pacific Northwest, whether that be going to the coast for a hike or going to the mountains to go snowboarding. There's a lot of different options to kind of get off campus and explore the area. Service is also a really big part of our campus life. A lot of our students do service work through our Service Learning Center, or our fraternities and sororities are also an option for philanthropy. And a lot of our students participate in many different opportunities in the local community. These right here are the star trees to begin to talk about some of our traditions. So we have these 5 big star trees that stand on our campus, which allow students to look straight up and see the shape of a star. And so they're a really pretty part of our campus. The luau is a tradition that happens every year. It's an on-campus event hosted by our Hawaiian Club. You'll see a couple students doing some cultural dance here, as well as they provide cultural food, and it's a great gathering for students. This is the bistro. Here's a student enjoying a coffee. The bistro is an on-campus coffee shop completely run by our students. They do everything from the financials to running the staffing, as well as making the drinks. And the cookies there are giant, they're the size of your head, and they cost only $1. So our students love this opportunity to kind of hang out in this space meant just for students. And finally, our last tradition is matriculation, which is a first-year event that happens in your first week at Willamette, where we celebrate our first-year students joining in on our campus community. This is the mill stream, which runs throughout our campus. It's this beautiful piece of nature, and a lot of our students like to hang out in this space. So again, my name is Leah. If you have any questions, I am the person who recruits in Alaska from Willamette. So I'd be happy to connect with you in the future, and feel free to send me an email at any point, and I'm happy to make more time. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And next we'll hear from Whitman College.
Hi, everyone. Hope you can all see and hear me all right. My name is Louise Carneas. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at Whitman College. I am your Alaska Admission Officer, and I have been recruiting in Alaska for about, this is my 5th cycle now, my 5th year. Whitman College is a small liberal arts college in the southeastern corner of Washington State. Whitman is located on the traditional Cayuse, Umatilla, and Walla Walla homelands. We pay our respect to tribal elders, past and present, and extend our respect to all Indigenous people today. We honor their stewardship of the land, and we commit to continuing this important work. I'll talk a little bit more about the Walla Walla Valley and how important this place is to our educational and kind of community philosophies throughout. But as far as campus goes, we offer 58 different majors and minors to choose from, and you can always create your own. All students enter Whitman undeclared. There are no direct entry programs to keep track of in the application process. You are just applying to the college. Whitman is known for a challenging academic curriculum, but also for the sense of balance and support and fun that students feel. It's a friendly and quirky campus. Students never run out of things to do, in part because they are always putting together programs for one another. A lot of the programs that I'm going to talk to you about today are facilitated entirely by students, which I think is really cool. So clubs, concerts, visiting authors, and speakers will fill our campus with activities 7 days a week, even though we're small. And the Walla Walla Valley's amazing restaurants, festivals, and hikes afford plenty to do off of our campus as well. We're in Walla Walla, Washington, as I mentioned before, a town about the size of Juneau, Alaska, with 34,000 people total. We do have an airport about 7 minutes from campus and one about 45 minutes away in Richland, Washington as well. Though the plane is not coming from the right direction in this image, unless you are remotely viewing this from East Asia, in which case, good morning. Walla Walla is also accessible by car from the surrounding cities 4 seasons of the year, which is something I like to specify when I'm in Alaska. I know that is not true all throughout your state. Today, I'm going to focus on 3 exceptional programs that we offer on our campus that I think exemplify our values of adventure, sustainability, and access. First, here's another little shot of downtown and one of our famous, beautiful sunsets. To get started, I want to go ahead and share a bit about Whitman's outdoor program. Created by students almost 40 years ago now, the outdoor program aims to explore the beautiful Walla Walla Valley and surrounding states. We're far enough inland in the Pacific Northwest that students go on weekend excursions to Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, in addition to the Cascade Mountains and other parts of Oregon and Washington. Not everyone comes to Whitman with the equipment and expertise necessary to set off on their own. So in addition to offering over 60 organized trips each year, so you can go off with a guide, the outdoor program also gives students $150 each year just to spend on these trips. I realize my video is not on, but it's here. So essentially when you're traveling, you can rock climb, ice climb, backpack, whitewater raft, all within just an hour of campus with an experienced guide, all the equipment you would need and free of charge. So if you're worried about how you're going to get your kayak to campus, you do not need to be concerned about that at Whitman. The next program that I want to highlight is also really rooted in place, deeply influenced by our location, and it is our environmental studies program. The environmental studies program at Whitman was the first of its kind, and it focuses on environmental studies as an overarching teaching philosophy rather than a single academic department or major. So at Whitman, students will actually have to combine environmental studies with another area. Environmental studies biology, environmental studies geology, chemistry, or physics are kind of examples of more traditional environmental science majors. You can also combine environmental studies with humanities, economics, politics, psychology, and sociology. All of the departments that I just mentioned combining with our disciplines that you can study alone. But for environmental studies, we thought that it needed to kind of live everywhere on campus. Classes across the environmental studies department will have titles like Whitman and the Global Food System, Indigenous Literature, the Pacific Northwest, and will draw directly from our community and ecosystem. The Walla Walla Valley is your classroom, regardless of what you're studying. So you can travel 10 minutes from campus and survey soil drainage, river pollution, and also students in environmental studies really do focus on public health, access to healthcare, and advocacy for migrant workers, everything that is still influenced by the environment and specifically by the agricultural industry that very much is the backdrop of Whitman College. Here's a bit more context on the valley. These are the blues, both just about 45 minutes away from campus, where I've done some really cool surveying work, or where students are still doing some cool surveying work today. Some students will actually choose to immerse themselves in environmental issues for a full semester through our Semester in the West program. It is essentially a semester-long road trip throughout the American West. You will visit the Navajo Nation, the border with Mexico, multiple state and national parks, tiny ranches, and mega farms. Students on this journey will conduct a series of interviews and really in-depth research to answer questions of equity and sustainability in the West. Equity and sustainability also bring me back to the third and final topic I want to talk about, the third and final program, our Power and Privilege Symposium. Though it's not specifically related to environmental justice, it happens each year and is a day where students come together to talk about race, gender, faith, socioeconomic differences, which they're doing right every day in and outside of the classroom. But this is a day when classes are scheduled to ensure that everybody is being addressed and feeling comfortable and safe on our campus. Here's some ways that you can connect with Whitman College, and I'd love to reach out to you at any point. I'm the admission officer for Alaska. It's great to share with you today, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Great, thank you. And up next, we'll hear from Alaska Pacific University. And Campbell, I know you were having a little bit of trouble earlier. If you want to just try to move everything Zoom related out of your screen off your desktop before you start the share, that might fix it.
Sure. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can do this without technical difficulties. All right. All right. How's that? Everyone, can you guys see me?
Yes, if you're just able to move, it looks like it's probably your control panel for Zoom. Just kind of move it way off to the side. I think that'll help.
Let's see. Doesn't want to let me do that.
Yeah. If not, we can see most of it. So, yeah, just as far to the top and sides of the screen as you can. I think that'll give you the best visual. But I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Sounds good. Well, hi everyone. My name is Campbell. I'm one of the admission counselors here at Alaska Pacific University, so maybe a little closer to home for you guys that are here in Alaska. Alaska Pacific University is a small private liberal arts and science-based school, and we are sitting on the traditional homelands of the Dena'ina Athabascan people. So we really want to celebrate their community and the traditions and be good stewards of this land. Let's see if this works. There we go. So a little history of Alaska Pacific. We were called Alaska Methodist University in 1960, offering the first classes, and then became Alaska Pacific University in 1978, still keeping the Methodist roots. We are a Native Alaska education-focused campus, and we really want to, like I mentioned, focus on the heritage here and the federally recognized tribes here. As many of you know, we celebrated on Monday, we celebrated the traditions of the communities and tribes, and so that's a really cool way to just learn more about the culture and the tribes that were born and founded here in Alaska. We focus on rigorous academics, and then as well, another part of history, in 1973, Louise Kellogg started the Kellogg Farm in Palmer, Alaska, and that's about 900 acres of land that the sustainability students, study students, and outdoor study students take advantage of. So we have about 529 students, that's including the undergraduate and graduate students. 78% of our students are made up of you guys that are here in Alaska, but we do have about 31 states and countries that are also represented here. We have about 3 on-campus housing options that are a traditional style, which is Atwood, and then apartment styles, which are Seagullhorse and University Village as you become an upperclassman. It's about an 8-to-1 student to professor ratio, so you're going to get a really individualized feel. You're going to get a chance to get to know your professors and students and not have to compete with too many other students for internships and jobs within the Anchorage area. And then I mentioned that before, we are an Alaska Native American Indian serving campus. So I won't go too much into depth into this, as many of you are living here or were born and raised maybe in Alaska, but there are breathtaking views aside from just those and the wildlife that you're going to see, getting to see the mountains and glaciers and the salmon-filled streams, whatever it is, as well as the adventure that there is all around. You're also going to get a chance to learn about the history of the natives here and the indigenous people. as well as just take advantage of the city of Anchorage and the resources that we have. So Anchorage is Alaska's largest city of about probably about 30,000 people. However, campus being about only 530 students, we are a quiet, more tucked back campus, so you still get a more secluded, quiet feel. We are a place-based experiential learning campus, so what that means is we just want to get students a chance to get out of the classroom, not only be in class, but maybe be on atop a mountain or in a glacier, or for some programs it might mean getting into doing internships within Anchorage, or being in a clinical for a nursing program. We do have about 12 undergraduate academic programs, which I'll talk about just in the next slide. Some of those overlap into minors as well, and maybe go on into graduate and doctorate programs as well. We have a student and community focus, as well as support and respect. So being a smaller university, you're gonna get that support and respect and get the focus you need, whether it's through our career office and getting the right internships, or maybe doing salary negotiation or resume building. You'll get all that. And then we want to keep things relevant to Alaska as well. So whether that's learning about our culture here, or the climate here in Alaska, or just the day-to-day news and what's going on within the state and on the land. These are the programs that we offer. So we have quite a few different science-based programs. However, we do have creative and professional writing, counseling, psychology, business administration, and then a lot of these overlap into minors as well. So if you're not sure as well, the liberal studies offers pre-law, maybe if you're wanting to do something with education. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of internship and connections and resources within smaller businesses and organizations in Anchorage and the surrounding cities in Alaska. This picture is a picture of a moose that was on campus just a few weeks back, chomping down on some of the produce from the farmers market we have on Wednesdays. Part of campus life, you're going to have dorm life, so get to know your RA and the community you are in. Meal plan options are based on the dorms that you live in, so you'll have maybe a gold or silver meal plan where you'll get to have meals and use that either in the dining center, in the coffee cart, or through Costco. There are partnerships through Costco, so students can get groceries from there using those funds. There's a lot of activities, whether it's a movie night, a game night, doing ice picking, going rock climbing, anything that you want to do. They want to provide you guys as students opportunities to get plugged into the community and with other students on campus. And we do have a rock wall and indoor pool, saltwater pool on campus as well. And then just a little bit of admissions. So you're going to submit your application for fall. Our priority deadline is May 1st. The late deadline is August 1st. You'll send your official high school transcript. We're just looking for a 2.5 or higher, and we are test optional. We'll get you in touch with admission counselors, and then we would love to have you come visit, whether it's virtually in one of our open houses, either October 24th or November 14th. And you will get your fee waived for the application, or coming and doing an on-campus tour as well. There's a lot of financial aid opportunities as well. Alaska students, you get a $2,000 discount. There are merit-based scholarships anywhere from $1,500 to $7,000. Apply for the FAFSA, and then there's a lot of Alaska-specific scholarships and outside scholarships as well. But we'd love to have you here. If you have questions, reach out. We're on Instagram at apu.admissions, as well as other social media, and reach out to us in the chat below if you have questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And our last school for the 6x6 is the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. And then we'll have a few minutes for questions as well. And of course, keep adding those questions to the Q&A box throughout these presentations.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, thank you for being here. I am very sad that I am and we are not there this year. I am the admission rep for Alaska for the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. So college squared, two colleges together. We've been going up to Alaska for many, many years. And in fact, I myself am from Alaska. I'm from North Pole, Alaska. So would love to connect with you folks somewhere down the road here. Be sure to get all our contact information after the presentations and such too. So to begin, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about two colleges because we are kind of a unique entity in the college realm. College of St. Benedict, St. John's University were founded well over 100 plus some years ago. We are located on the homelands of the traditional homelands of the Dakota and the Anishinaabe tribes and homelands. We pay honor and respect for them as well and live and work and study on those lands. College, St. Ben's College, sorry, my screen is, here we go. I have a different presentation. I hope everyone can see that. So College of St. Benedict is located in St. Joseph, Minnesota. That is central Minnesota, about an hour north of the Twin Cities. And it is in a small college town. You got your coffee shops, pizzerias, marketplaces, all within walking distance of campus. It's a beautiful campus. There is a lake accessible there. We are the land of 10,000 lakes. 6 miles down the road, you can head to St. John's University, and that is located on roughly 3,000 acres of natural landscape, arboretum, woodlands, prairies, over 20 miles of hiking trails on campus, connected to some great bike routes that take you all throughout the state. We have 6 of the 7 lakes on our campus there. An outdoor university as part of the university as well, so you can access a lot of great programs to get involved. Actually, North Face ranked us #1 a couple of years in a row for engaging students, faculty, and staff in the outdoors in a number of different activities and so forth. So you can check out all kinds of gear as part of this, your student. Just show your ID and check that out, and you can get out, play on the water, weather all 4 seasons if you like. So. Next, academic squared. So we are not going to be talking strictly math when I'm using the squared analogy there, but average class size is roughly about 19 students. You have about 11-to-1 student-professor ratio. 100% of your classes are taught by professors, so not graduate students or TAs. You will get access to your professors. In fact, many of them have, at least 88% of them, I think, have the highest degree in their field. Many of them have doctorates, have achieved great successes and accolades, and are there because they want to mentor and engage with you. They know that you're not just an empty vessel heading down the higher ed academic conveyor belt. Rather, you are someone who wants to engage, grow, and learn. And that's why they are there, be there and mentor with you. So a lot of accessibility to resources, especially that first year, to help kind of uncover and learn. Maybe you have your heart set on one degree, but you start discovering within the liberal arts and the integrations curriculum that you want to combine a few things, or you want to take something else instead. That can be done because, again, you're going to have access to those advisors, those professors, and as well a multitude of resources in which to explore. Point in case, I transferred actually as a second year into college here, and I changed my major 3 times. I was still able to study abroad. I was able to lead backpacking trips across the United States, as well as a skydiving trip, even through their peer resource program, and a multitude of other things as well. So many students are doing a great deal of things like that. And as I mentioned, experiential learning, these are just a few pictures of opportunities that you can have. All students will participate in one form of experiential learning or another. And that, whether that be studying abroad, research opportunities, internships, so forth and so on. So residential, we are a 4-year residential school. And that means that you have access to live on campus all 4 years, as many other institutions have mentioned too. The housing grows with you as you grow in age at the college and university as well. So opportunities to move into apartment style housing and things of that nature, which makes the opportunity to really engage with that peer cohort much more accessible, and your levels of achievement and success are much more connected and well connected too because of that residential environment. Back to that just real quickly. Why am I talking about 2 colleges? St. Ben's is residentially all female, and St. John's is residentially all male, in which case those are the only 2 separate things about the 2 universities. They are still independent institutions. However, they do combine and have a very co-ed and collaborative experience, as you've seen in many of the pictures here. So you wouldn't really know the difference, actually. And if you have questions about that, we can talk about that later. As I mentioned, study abroad is a great opportunity at St. John's, St. Ben's. Nearly 60% of our students, we've been ranked, take part in a semester-long study abroad program. And we've been ranked in the top 5 in the nation for sending students on study abroad programs, mainly because we own and operate those, which means that your financial aid will count towards that, as well as credits and so forth too, transferring back in. And to move along and make sure that we have some time for questions, I'll just speed through these last little slides that I have. Many activities available. We are a Division III school with athletics. In fact, 2 Johnnies this last year were recruited and signed with the NFL and with the MLB. So as well as we have club and intramural sports and athletics. We are Benedictine based. Nearly 50% identify as Catholic, but we represent all, we have students representing all major world religions, as well as faith spaces and prayer spaces on both campuses for many students. So, and we were ranked top 2 in the state of Minnesota for job placement after graduation. So results are a big part of this investment in higher ed. So something to consider for down the road. All right, and I'll turn it back over to Joelle, I believe.
Great, so we have just about 4 minutes to answer everybody's questions in the Q&A box as well. And while that's going on, to give some of our panelists a chance to type their answers, I'm going to turn it back over to everybody, all of our presenters. If you want to turn on your videos, I'm going to ask you all in presentation order, just a quick, 20-second answer of something that is just unique to your school, a fun tradition, or something that you didn't quite get to. So we'll just take a minute or so and go around with those answers while people are working through the questions in the chat.
So for University of Portland, I would say that our location is one of the best things, in my opinion, both coming from a student perspective, having gone there, and now seeing it on the other side as a staff member and seeing students really take advantage of where we are in Portland, where you have an awesome city at your fingertips, but also having that, seclusion with campus, and everything you need is on campus. And so that's probably one of the favorite things I would say that a lot of students share is what their favorite thing about campus is. And also one thing I didn't share earlier is that all of our majors can study abroad. So we don't want that experience to be restricted by the major that you've chosen to participate in. So that's something that I wanted to make sure to get out there for you.
Yeah, for Gonzaga, I think it's basketball is a really big thing for us. Our arena's been sold out for about 20 years now. Got 1,200 students that line the lower bowl, go absolutely crazy. Ranked #1 for a period of time last year, preseason #1 this year, and all events are free for students to attend. They get so excited that sometimes they'll camp out in mid-February to get closer seats to those games. So it's a really unique experience for our students. And I forgot to mention study abroad as well. We have our own campus in Florence, Italy, and tuition will remain the same for students in the fall or spring. So thank you.
At Willamette, we have a satellite campus here and a partnership that has been 54 years running with Tokyo International University. We have about 100 students from Tokyo come over every year and study in our American Studies program. They live in the residence halls, they participate in campus life. They're very involved as part of our campus, and it's this great moment of intercultural exchange for our students. We send students to Tokyo every year on study abroad, but we also have 65 other study abroad programs, and more than half of our students study abroad. So it's a great opportunity to think about if you'd like to do so, and it's easy to do so because financial aid transfers as well as students are able to do so and also graduate in 4 years.
A couple of traditions on our Whitman campus that I think help us stand out. So I talked a lot about kind of like the sense of place and Walla Walla. The yearly hot air balloon festival, which I had a picture of in my presentation, is really fun for students, but I always like to clarify that you have to wake up very early to see them. It's happening at dawn. And I was a Whitman student. I did not make it until my junior year. I had tried before and failed. Another tradition that is like more accessible at all hours of the day is this rubber duck hunt that we have in the spring, where ducks are hidden all throughout campus and you find them. You can exchange them for prizes, but most students choose to keep theirs as kind of like, I don't know, you get a lot of clout for having like a lot of rubber ducks. So those are two kind of quirky traditions that our students have.
All right, for Alaska Pacific, I would say one thing, just with being a place-based experiential learning campus, is that in the fall, students get to do something called Expedition Alaska, where they get to go out and do rafting and camping on the Yukon River. That's with a small group of students and a professor. So really just getting to experience true Alaska and the outdoors. There's still something for everything here for students that more so enjoy indoor activities as well, but definitely if you're someone that likes to be out in the wilderness, do camping, maybe see glaciers, do fishing, there's a lot of opportunity for that, and a lot of professors that enjoy that and have a passion for that as well, so that's pretty neat.
Sorry, that's me. I hid my mute button behind the quick Q&A. Yeah, a couple quick traditions at St. John's and St. Ben's. We have the annual maple syrup tapping of the trees, and then they do maple syrup Sundays for everybody. So that's a big festival, and a lot of folks go out into the woods right there on campus and help tap the trees over the course of the season, and then get to partake in the rewards of that. And then also hot bread night is a big fun thing to kind of break up the stresses of, you know, finals coming up and things of that nature. The RAs and other folks on the halls bring out they get a lot of, we have fresh bread that's baked on both campuses by the monasteries, and they bring out a bunch of bread and peanut butter and butter and jam, and just everybody just loads up on the carbs and has a good break in their studies. So those are a couple fun things.
Great, and that is going to bring us right up to time. So I want to say thank you to all of the presenters and all of the students who joined us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. And again, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. We've got another one starting in just about 14 minutes. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings on the website where you registered. So thanks again to all of our presenters, and I'll see some of you in a few minutes, and to the rest of you, have a great day.